So, it's our third date, huh? Isn't this where we start admitting our stranger quirks to each other? Well, you have anything you want to tell me? Dark secrets, hidden desire, some things I should really know about you before we take this any further. Alright, I'll go first then. I'm into hypnosis. Yeah, I'm really into it. And if you're gonna be an item, you and we're gonna play around with it in our relationship. I hope it's not gonna be a deal breaker. There's a ton of fun stuff you can do with hypnosis, and I would really like to explore some of them with you. Oh, it's alright if you've never been hypnotized before. All I need is for you to be open to the idea. Going into trance is a skill, something you get better at with practice. And don't worry, I'm a very good teacher. Well, I'm glad you're willing to give it a shot. That's all I asked. You're gonna love it. You'll see. Hypnosis really is amazing. There is a lot of misconception about it, Like so many people think it's got to do with sleep. That hypnotizing someone means getting them to relax so deeply that they will fall into some kind of sleep. And I mean, that's one way of doing it for sure. It's called relaxation induction, and it works pretty well. But hypnosis doesn't really have anything to do with sleep at all. It's actually a state of extreme focus. For example, when I'm doing a relaxation induction, what I'm really doing is making my subject focus. First on their body and then on the sound of my voice, until my voice becomes the only thing they are aware of. Becoming completely focused on one thing, that is what hypnosis is all about. It's like being engrossed in a good book, or being riveted by someone's explanation, or getting lost in your own thought and doing something else on autopilot. Of course, those are only really light state of trance. And the trick is to get people to go deeper, so much deeper. But focus is the key. What it really takes to hypnotize someone is to get them to focus on something. And when you see hypnosis being used in fiction, you will see the person use a spiral or a pocket watch. And it seems tropey, but that actually something they're getting more or less right. You could hypnotize someone by making them focus on a spiral or a pocket watch. You can use anything really, although it's always easiest with something that's naturally catch the eye, something that's fascinating to look at. A shiny pendant works really well, for example. But personally, I like to use my eyes. They are my best feature after all. Well, I like to think I have several great features, but my eyes are definitely one of them. There's something about them that seems to draw people in. They look into my eyes and then just keep looking deeper and deeper, and that's perfectly fine. To be honest, it wouldn't really matter how I hypnotize you, but if I'm doing it over and over again, eventually your mind is gonna associate looking into my eyes with sinking into a trance for me, with listening to my voice and following my orders, with believing everything I tell you and doing everything I say. And there's all kind of fun we can have with that. Imagine that we're having dinner together with friends or family, and I draw your attention, meet you in the eye, and tell you to pass me the salt. It wouldn't sound like a command, no, but it wouldn't sound like a question either. No one would actually notice. They'll just take it as an innocent request, one that you obviously fulfilled. They wouldn't even bat an eye on it. But you'd know, and I'll know, that in that moment, it would be impossible for you to do anything other than to obey. I like that idea very much. Besides, eventually at some point, I'm bound to tell you to do something that you really don't want to do, and you obviously try to resist. Maybe you will even start breaking free from my control. And when that happens, it's not like I can just pull out a spiral or a pocket watch and make you submit to my will again. Not if there's anyone watching us. But if I always using my eye to put you under my spell, well, in that case, it wouldn't matter where we are or how many people are around us. All I have to do is to get right up close to you, make you look into my eyes, look deeply into my eyes, and you will become putty in my hand. Your mind will melt all over again, and then I will lean in, whisper into your ears for a while. We will be like two lovebirds sharing an intimate moment together. But when it's over, you will be mine again, and you will be mindlessly obedient again, and do whatever I want you to. Yes, I'm definitely gonna use my eyes to hypnotize you. And frankly, my eyes are far more compelling than any spiral too. I don't even have to tell you to look into my eyes, because you've been doing that for quite some time. And all you want to do is to keep looking deeper and deeper. You're already transfixed, completely focused on my eye. On my eyes. Oh yes, my voice. Hanging on to my every word. And you know what that means. It means you've already been hypnotized. Deeply hypnotized. So let go and sing for me. Melt for me. Perfect. Putty in my hands. You'd do anything for me right now, wouldn't you? But I said that hypnosis isn't mind control. And I suppose that's true in a way. To really take control of someone's mind, that takes conditioning too. And we're gonna get started on that right away. Kneel. Get on your knees. That's it. Now look at me. And eyes on me. I prefer you this way. Obedient. Compliant. Submissive. Don't think about it. Just do it. And keep your eyes on me. Good girl. You know, it doesn't matter why you're doing as I say right now. It doesn't matter if you think you are choosing to obey me. It doesn't even matter if you think you're just pretending to be hypnotized. It doesn't even matter if you're already so deeply hypnotized that what you want to do is completely irrelevant. What matters is that you obey. Look into my eyes. I'm gonna train your mind to associate obedience with pleasure. Say it in your mind. Obedience is pleasure. Again, say it with me. Obedience is pleasure. Good girl. You are gonna fall a little deeper under my spell. You are gonna lose a little more of your will to me. And then I'm gonna do it again and again and again until you're completely mine. I will be able to tell you to do anything, and you will simply obey. And if you ever think of resisting me, I will tell you to look into my eyes, and you will melt for me. You will melt and you will obey. And that sounds so damn hot, doesn't it? I am brainwashing you and you like it. You like the idea of submitting to my will. Mind control turns you on. Being mind controlled turns you on. You love the idea of being under my spell. You love that you couldn't resist me even if you tried. Because obedience is pleasure. I want you to think that being mine. Think about my eyes overpowering your mind. Think about submitting to my will. About kneeling in front of me, gazing up at me, losing yourself in my eyes. You can't resist me. You can't resist my eyes. You can only obey. There you go. Good girl. You did so well. So I got a little reward for you. Just hold still and there we go. It's a cute collar, don't you think? Sure, it only exists in your mind, but that doesn't make it any less real. You belong to me now. But I can tell that you are tired. You are barely able to keep your eyes open. Aw, that's alright. You can take a little nap. You can just let go and sleep. Sink and sleep for me. Sleep. Come to think of it, hypnosis might have a little to do with putting you to sleep after all. We are done for our first section. You responded quite well to the real thing. In fact, I bet you don't even remember falling asleep, do you? Don't think so. You're really a very responsive subject. I'm gonna have a lot of fun training you. Well, there's a lot of it coming. A couple more hypnosis section. You will do, think, believe, whatever I want you to. That sounds good, doesn't it? Look at me. Eyes on me. You want me to take control of your mind. Because mind control turns you on. Because obedience is pleasure. Right? I'll see you again tomorrow.